No, Bear.
We will never see a smaller tree. We searched and searched for the largest tree.
And how big is this tree?
It's over 1,300 tons. The largest tree by mass in the entire world. It's 103 feet circumference at the base.
And if we made a dugout canoe from it?
We could make recliners for 400 people. Movie theater in the back.
It's August 2021, and my buddy Joe and I are in the southern Sierra Nevadas. Specifically, we are in Sequoia National Park. The trees here are unbelievable. If you're a tree hugger, give it up. These are just too big to hug. After we check out these phenomenal trees, we're headed to Morro Rock. Then we're going to hike Alta Peak, where we're going to see some incredible night skies. And finally, we'll wrap up the trip in Kings Canyon National Park. Hang around to the end, and I'll give you our itinerary and our costs if you're interested. Some of these trees are over 3,000 years old, but even when they succumb to fire or old age, their longevity continues in death. They remain virtually unchanged for decades. The tunnel log that you saw earlier was cut in 1937 after the 2,000-year-old tree fell across the Crescent Meadow Road. We began at the Congress Trail, where it's easy to get up close to the trees. And at the Giant Tree Museum, we caught the standing room only shuttle to Morro Rock. From the peace and quiet of the forest, it was shocking to be on this pinnacle of rock surrounded by so many people. Here's a listen just for reference.
Yeah, no, it's cool though. It's like looking at
You know, it was extremely crowded at Morro Rock and the Sherman Tree, but we are absolutely by ourselves out here on this trail. We decided to hike back from Morro Rock instead of taking the bus, and it's 2.5 miles, apparently all uphill. Yeah.
Tell my wife I love her.
Crescent Meadow had all of the best things Sequoia National Park could offer. Beautiful meadow, wildflowers, sequoias, old cabins, bears.
We just walked up to a place called Tharp's Log, and it is a sequoia tree that fell, and I guess Mr. Tharp turned it into a cabin.
No, this is cool.
That afternoon, we checked into Lodgepole Campground, Site 79. What a beautiful spot right on the Kauai River. In fact, after soaking our feet, we felt so good we decided to make the 4-mile round-trip hike to Tacoma Falls.
We are up the Marble Fork of the Kauai River. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Kauai. And we just crossed a waterfall. But I don't think it was Tacoma Falls, which is where we're hiking to. Don't tell me that's it. You gotta be kidding. So Tacoma Falls, it's pretty dry compared to what we've already seen down the creek. We just left the parking lot, headed to Mehrten Meadow, Alta Peak. Joe's got about 95 pounds of crap on his back, and it's going to be uphill all the way. All right, we're at the junction of the Lakes Trail and the, whatever this is called, to Alta Peak.
We started this hike at the Wolverton picnic area. It was a great parking lot. There's bathrooms there. It's a perfect place to start your hike. We started pretty early in the morning. Hiked up past the Lakes Trail to Panther Gap. And that section beyond Panther Gap to Mehrten Meadow is just absolutely gorgeous. Just great views of the Western Divide. And let's see, that's the High Sierra Trail to your left, and then the next one is to Alta Meadow, and then you have the peak, of course, Alta Peak, up the Alta Trail. You can see the lakes, the alpine lakes down below you, and what I didn't realize until I saw this map was that the lakes actually feed into Tacoma Falls, where we were at Lodgepole.
Yeah,
What have you taught me into?
that's a lot of stuff you got on your back.
Yeah.
You just leave some of it here. Getting close to the what appears to be Panther Gap. Oh man. Alta Peak is actually behind me. We got up here about 11:30 to the junction of the Alta Peak Trail. We're about 3/4 of the way up the Alta Peak Trail. I'm sorry. We're about 3/4 of a mile up the Alta Peak Trail, which is 2.1. And this beast is steep. We dropped our packs back at the junction, and
It was around this point that Joe's morale started to nosedive, and I knew it was going to be up to me to get us to the peak.
it's a good spot for an update.
Well, you're still alive.
Check that box off.
I don't know how far we've traveled.
And it is about 2 o'clock. So we got the rest of the afternoon to go 1 mile and about 3 miles back. These trees up here are just, they look paint yet.
I didn't know it at the time, but these are foxtail pines, and they live to be over 3,000 years old. Only the bristlecone pine is longer lived.
Yeah, I've read a couple of people say that, you know, the last mile was the worst, but doesn't seem to be any worse than the others.
Let me just pause right here to say that I'm blissfully ignorant of what's coming.
Since we passed that rock right there, we've been resting about every 50 yards. This last section is just so freaking steep, and there's no relief from the sun.
Let me just also round out my complaints here by saying there's only about 85% of the normal oxygen that is in Alabama, because we're at 11,000 feet. And also, at this point, I thought I looked like Lawrence of Arabia until I saw this video.
Okay, that right there is the peak, but we can see 360 degrees. Was it worth it?
I don't know. Ask me again later. It's pretty awesome though.
Yeah. This is actually a very cool oasis right here on Alta Peak Trail, about a half mile up Alta Peak Trail. This is one of the few sources of water. You see the flowers growing up all along it. This is Mehrten Meadow. It's my tripod because I was taking sky pictures last night. The most incredible Milky Way straight across this meadow. Yeah, we're right on the top of Panther Gap, and feels good. Feels good to be here.
Downhill.
Downhill.
Downhill from here.
Final steps. Alta Peak hike.
Never been so happy to see a Kia.
By this time, we've been camping for 3 days, and due to the drought, none of the campground showers were open. So we did the only thing we could think to do. We got in the river. I am neither naked here or alone, just so you know. There's about a dozen people around me all swimming in the river. We're at the road's end in Kings Canyon, And we're a little disappointed in our campsite in Moraine, but when we drove down here, it's pretty phenomenal. Our camping neighbors told us they come here because it's considered the mini Yosemite. No bear. Overall, this was an awesome trip. Our favorite things, Crescent Meadow, Alta Peak, and the night sky in Mehrten Meadow. Our least favorite, Morro Rock, and the fact that there was no cell service anywhere in the park except for the lodges. I don't know how long it's been since you've seen a line at a payphone, but you will see that in Sequoia National Park. Here's our costs and itineraries. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Joe going back to the car for the third time. Always waiting.
Was that on video?
Actually, this is the top of Panther Gap right here. It was not up there. That's where we just came from. I don't know what's making that noise.